God and into bettering himself, God's going to send him an aid regardless if the aid has a child or no child. I don't think we should keep telling women, oh, your value is lowered because you have children. That makes no sense.
Today, I'm reacting to a debate between Anton Daniels and Yada about whether men should date single moms and be happy about it. So let's get into the mess.
Should men be open to dating women with children?
He
know better. He know this about to go so bad.
No. Can I be truthful?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I be truthful, please, brother?
This round you can't be there.
Okay.
Last round it was a little rough for you.
Okay. I don't believe, personally, that we should put our women in boxes.
And why shouldn't men put women in boxes? Men get put in boxes all the time. Whether it's about only dating men who are a certain height or make a certain amount of money. For the longest time, women have been sorting through men like this. As a matter of fact, this isn't just a gender thing. We do it for all sorts of things and people in our lives. But let's see what he has to say.
If a woman has a child or doesn't have a child, a good woman is a good woman. My wife had a child prior to me. And I love this child loves me, but the child also knows that I'm not her father, but I play a role as a father figure in her life. She's probably watching right now, and if you're watching right now, baby girl, I love you and I'm thankful for you. When a man is able to lead, guide, and protect, when a man's able to walk with the attributes of the Most High God, it doesn't matter if the woman is single or not, because if a man can lead, he can lead.
What he just said doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not religious, so bringing God into this isn't going to sway my mind one way or the other. Like I always say, there are a lot of men out there who are more than happy to take on the role of being someone's stepdad, but it's not for everyone. And it doesn't make someone less of a man because they don't want to assume responsibility for another dude's child.
It doesn't matter if the woman has 3 children, 2 children, 1 child, no child. If the man can lead, he can lead. I believe, my opinion in my heart, that when a man is truly invested into God and into bettering himself, God's going to send him an aid regardless if the aid has a child or no child. I don't think we should keep telling women, oh, your value is lowered because you have children. That makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense. If a man without kids is dating a woman who has 2 or 3 children, the money and resources he could eventually be giving to his own child is now being given to someone else's. Not only that, but let's say these 2 people meet when they're both in their mid-30s. Exactly how many children of his own will that man be able to have? Dating someone who already has children, especially multiple children, is a big step. So let's not pretend that a man's life can't be impacted by a decision like that.
Now, brothers, I believe that if you're unable to even deal with your own personal emotions, I think you should stay alone and by yourself, or get with a woman that has nothing else going on. Y'all can probably grow together. But when you're coming into a woman's life that has a child, you have to be able to lead. You have to be able to father. You have to be able to teach, and you have to be able to love unconditionally, because I love my wife's child as if she's my own flesh and blood. So I don't believe, personally, that we should put a woman in the box because a man might overlook a divine asset sent to him by God.
This guy is using God as a crutch, and it's not even an entity he can demonstrate exists, but I don't want to get off topic. And sure, if a man's going to step into a pre-made family, he should have all those qualities, but it still doesn't change how big of a burden it is.
Just because she has a child, I don't agree to that. And that's like me telling a woman, overlook this man because he has children. No, I believe an asset is an asset.
While a woman may not overlook a man because he has children, many sure as hell would if he wasn't making enough money.
A woman that has a child isn't a liability, and if she's coming into your life to help you maneuver into becoming your greatest version, because a woman can't help a man become greater emotionally and mentally. She adds on to the man. And if the child is there, this man, especially if he doesn't have children, he can learn how to father through this. So ladies, please hear me. Your value is not dropped because you have children. Men, please hear me. Your value is not dropped because you have children. Some of you, or some of us, me included, weren't taught.
His value will likely drop if he's only making an average living though, so why doesn't he talk about that?
How to properly wait until marriage to have children. So I'm speaking to the brothers that's trying to figure it out by themselves. I'm speaking to the women that's trying to figure out by themselves. Love yourself and never lower your value, regardless if you had children or not. Excuse me.
There you have it.
We 100% disagree on this one.
Okay.
The previous two, we had some overlap and we had some agreements. This one we don't. I like to get to the core root of the problem. And I think that what we do as a culture and as a society is we enable bad behavior by saying that it's okay. And it's not. It's not. The person that you have children with, the person that you have sex with, that's your husband, that's your wife. Before any of these Western modern laws that then incentivize people to get married, the person that you opened up your legs to was your husband. And so we have too many broken homes, and we're trying to puzzle this thing and Tetris it together to justify that it makes sense. Now, is there circumstances, because I'm never going to speak on somebody else's situation. I speak in general. I don't know him. I would never speak on his children or his wife. That has nothing to do with me.
I appreciate that,
whatsoever,
brother. Right?
So I have the utmost respect for him and his family.
Thank you.
So I'm just speaking in general, all right? So I want to make sure that I preface that because I don't want there to be any attacks, right?
Understood.
But my point is that we need to get back to the core and the root, because if you removed the safety net, people would be more accountable for the things that they did and who they opened up their legs to.
I agree. And you know me, I'm always gonna tie this shit back to mandatory paternity tests. If those tests were done for every birth to make sure the right father was assigned, a lot of women who cheat on their partners would think twice about making her side piece shoot up the club. I'm not saying it will stop her from cheating, but at least fewer men would find themselves getting cucked.
Right now, more than ever, there's a pandemic, an epidemic of women celebrating women having children out of wedlock. And we know that statistically speaking, that is a bad situation. You are more likely to end up in jail. You're more likely to join a gang. You're more likely to need therapy. You're less likely to be successful when it comes to future relationships. You're less likely to become a millionaire and earn as much. You're more likely to have debt as a result of student loan debt and things and so on and so forth. And so if we gonna solve for this problem as a culture, we have to remove the incentives for people to think that it's okay to have families outside of the covenant that God has ordained for us to have.
Again, I don't need God to come in and do anything for me. But starting a family with a woman who doesn't already have children sounds like a lot less of a headache. And I don't have to deal with some other dude who wants to have a say regarding what happens in my house.
Now, do circumstances happen? Absolutely. But it absolutely does not. That is not the majority. Most people are intentional. And let me address something else that he said. By the time that we are able to bust one, we know what's right and wrong. You know that you should not be having children out of wedlock. This is not something that we have to discover. At a very basic level, we know better. And that's why I can speak to men when I say the majority of men, especially black men, do not have children out of wedlock.
And I can speak to that because I refuse to put myself at risk for having a child with some chick I wasn't serious about. I just don't need that extra headache in my life. And when I had kids, I wanted to make sure I could fully be there for them. It's funny though, because the number of women who seemed more than happy for me not to use protection was kind of scary, but I wasn't willing to take that risk. Even though she might say some shit like, "It's fine, I can take a pill tomorrow." The fact is, if she changes her mind, there is nothing you can do about it.
That is a small minority of men that is populating the majority of these women, and we don't really want to hold them accountable because we know that women are the biggest consumers. And so again, I'm not here to make people feel good. I'm here to tell them the truth. No, I do not think that a man needs to practice becoming a father to a child that's not his and trying to figure it out to negotiate and work with another man that wants to probably at some point participate in this child's life because it is a zero-sum game.
That's an absolute fact. I don't know what all that practice talk is about, because when you become a parent for the first time, you just figure that shit out.
And I know so many people that regret the day that they ever decided to get into a relationship with a woman that then ultimately should have went back to her child's father. Go back to your child's father and work it out. Because that's the person that you created the covenant with. That's the person that you married according to God's law. Go fix it. That's what you need to do.
Now, what if a woman is saying that this man is just absolutely egregious? That's just somebody I was. It's not even something that I can repair, go back to.
It's not about
how
you.
How do you give that woman
It's not about
advice?
her. It's about the child.
I don't agree with Anton on this one, because if the father is someone who's a genuine danger or just toxic in general, it makes no sense to try and raise a child in an environment like that. However, what I would say is that women should properly vet the guys they're choosing to have children for so they don't find themselves in situations like this.
Everything that you do at that point to bring somebody into this world that didn't ask to be here is what's best for the child. You remove yourself. You got to put down with self and up with God. What is in the best interest of that child? Is it in the best interest of that child for you to be raising that child in a two-parent household with the father? And if so, why didn't you think about that before you opened up your legs to him? Because we got over 100 different forms of contraception. It's not about how you feel. It's about the child. I do the thing that's in the best interest of my child, not me. I put myself last. But I also understand that the things that I do in my greatness, she's the beneficiary of it.
I feel this 100% because whenever I look at my son now, I always think that everything I'm doing is for him.
And I would never, ever, under any circumstance, let another man raise my child.
And that's beautiful. What he's saying is beautiful. And he's coming from a place of being raised by mother and father. But you have so many women that never seen their father. They've never known that a woman should get married before they have children. Hold on, bro. Let me speak. Because majority of young girls are they're starting to lose their virginities at very young ages as children, looking to replace that feeling of not having a father. They just want to feel some form of masculine love.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to agree with him on that. Whenever you take a look at impoverished neighborhoods, you can see that dysfunction breeds dysfunction, and it's only now and again that someone's able to break free of that. While I've lived in sort of rundown areas in the past, I've never lived in a real ghetto, so I try to be aware of the fact that where I'm speaking from is a place of privilege. Sometimes, it's easy for people to look at people in these areas and talk about what they should and shouldn't be doing, but at the same time, you have to keep in mind that a lot of the people you're talking about don't have your viewpoint of the world, because how they're living now is what they've always known.
So if this child made a mistake at 15 or made a mistake at 16 by sleeping with the wrong man that promised her the world, oh baby, I love you, oh baby, I'm thankful for you, oh baby, I'll never leave you, and she got into this woman's head because, like you said, fathers should know and teach their daughters right for wrong. You do agree, correct? Mm-hmm. So if the father isn't there and she's running behind a masculine energy and this man is saying, I love you, I'll never leave you, I'll never cheat on you, and she falls in love with this man now saying, I want your body. If you love me, let me get your body. She doesn't know right for wrong because she didn't see no man growing up. Now she gives this man the body. Mm-hmm. Now a child is born. That means that this man right here that doesn't have any children should not get with her?
Absolutely not.
Come on, brother.
Absolutely not.
Come on, brother.
100%.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
Listen.
And this is where things can get a little tricky, as I agree with both of them on this point. While the girl may have been a victim of her circumstances, a guy without kids isn't under any obligation to come into her life and save her. That's just the cruel nature of the world.
At a very early age, I was never going to not have a child, or I was never going to have a child out of wedlock. It's just the facts. We was never going to co-parent. I was never going to have another man in my child's life.
And that's beautiful.
And this is the sentiment of most men, especially black men. This is a norm within our culture. Go and look it up. It's data. It's statistics. This is not my opinion. This is a fact.
I don't know, Anton. I'm just looking at the stats right now. But first, check this out. This graph's from Wikipedia, and the amount of black people having kids outside of marriage is astronomical compared to everyone else. But how true is it that most black men don't want to have kids outside of marriage? Well, on the Pew Research website, they had this to say. Some 37% of white biological dads have had at least one child out of wedlock, while 77% have had a birth within a marriage. Black and Hispanic fathers are much more likely to report having had a non-marital birth. Among black men, 72% have had a child out of wedlock, and 48% have had one in marriage. I will say though, this is quite an old study going all the way back to 2011, but I couldn't find anything more recent. Still, I don't think the numbers would be much different.
And again, I'm going to go back to the core of what I said in the very first conversation. You can solve for 99% of all men that are doing the wrong thing, and 1% of men can populate the majority of the earth with women that choose to be with this one man. At some point, every single person, including women, have to be accountable for the thing that they did and open up their legs to. And we also know that women are the ones that initiate the majority of the divorces. So they're walking away from their households and becoming single parents by choice. This isn't something that they're being forced to. So when because he's a great salesman, I got to give you that.
Come on, brother.
No, you're phenomenal.
Come on, brother.
You do the whole crying thing.
Come on,
oh my
brother.
God.
Come on, bro. You're showing sassiness right now. Come on, brother.
No. This is what you said.
Come on, we men now, brother.
No, listen.
Come on, we men now.
Oh my God.
Come on now, brother.
I didn't know a man, and so as a result, I was looking for love, and so I had this child. You know what I hear? Excuses.
While I mostly agree with what Anton says about dating single mothers and all, I feel like he doesn't make an effort to see things from the point of view of people who don't have anything and have a very limited education, if any at all. I don't know if he comes from a middle-class family or not, but his black and white view of what people in these impoverished neighborhoods should do tells me that he's never had to really live that life. But you know, I could be wrong.
Excuses.
Let me add on something real quick, right?
You're a great salesman.
This man right here.
I see why you got a great product.
This man, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. This man right here. I don't want to attack Antoine. Let me say.
Can't.
No, hold on.
My life is perfect.
I want to make sure my words is accurate. Let me not try to attack Antoine. Let me say it like that. It's toxic to teach a woman to stay in a home where there's no form of love or safety or security, because that teaches the woman, the young child, it teaches the young girl that she should grow up and stay in a relationship with a man that's abusive, that attacks her mentally and physically, emotionally.
This is funny because I only watched a few minutes of this video before going through it and reacting to it. But the longer it goes on, I do see and appreciate some of the points this guy is making. Does that mean I think you should date single moms? No, but it is helpful if you can try stepping out of your own shoes and try to see things from another person's perspective.
We have to understand the majority of women will not leave a place where she feels safe. She will not leave a place where she feels loved. Men keep screaming that women are leaving men or divorcing men in high numbers because these women are no longer happy. They no longer feel safe. They're not being financially provided for. Mm-hmm. They're taking care of grown men. Mm-hmm. And I know brothers, right, that are amazing fathers, amazing fathers, and raising their bonus children. These bonus children aren't curses. They're blessings. And any man that's able to lead another child that's not biologically his, I salute you. Because the average man will not understand that. Again, Antoine was raised in a home with two parents, which is beautiful. Like I can't.
Hey, he's saying that like that's a knock on me.
Hold on. No, I'm saying it's beautiful.
Hey, he
it's
keep
beautiful.
Mentioning it like that's something.
Hold on,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Brother. No, it's beautiful that he was raised in a home with two parents, but a lot of people didn't have the privilege of seeing that.
I feel like if Anton grew up in the ghetto and was able to escape to become the man he is today, while he might have the same views about dating single moms and all that, He'd also be more appreciative of the fact that not everyone is blessed with what many people in this space would deem to be common knowledge. To me, this sounds like the whole privilege is invisible to those who have it.
So they're making mistakes, brother. They're making mistakes. She fell in love with the wrong. She fell in love with the wrong man. Whatever happened, happened. But ladies, do not allow this man up here to make it feel like you're not deserving of a man. Or man, if you're in a relationship with a woman that has children, do your thing. I salute you. It takes a real man to be able to step up and be a father when no one else is.
No, it's not about do your thing. It's about going back to the thing that you committed to in the first place. And again, they always keep saying, do your thing, I'm surprised you ain't said queen at some point.
Queen?
Do your thing, queen. Do your thing,
Anton,
queen.
let me ask you this question.
At some point, you need to hold your parents accountable, right? Because again, we keep hanging this on the hats of men instead of hanging it on the hats of the people that came before you and put you in this position in the first place.
I agree.
So let's remove this whole thing that is on men. It's not. It's not on all men. That's bullcrap.
What's not on all men?
It's not on this whole narrative of what we see in the culture. This is not a black man thing. The majority of men. So stop making up this narrative of an abusive household. Was he abusive? Wait. No.
This is what I'm saying.
No, let me finish. This is my question to you. Right. Was he abusive before you opened up your legs to him?
Now can I speak? That's cool with you?
I asked you a question.
That's good. Brother, we have men that are some pro finessers. They will give a woman a representation of themselves. And when they've got their hooks into the woman, they turn into something different. No woman in her right mind is going to be in a relationship with a man that's negative, Nancy, breaking her down mentally, physically, and spiritually, not providing for her financially. No, they get the hooks in her. And then when he feels like he's got her in love and all she knows is him, he turns into something different. All I'm saying to you, brother, this is what I want. No, I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. Every woman that has had a child and is not with the man aren't bad people. And every man that had a child and not with the woman is not bad people.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap things up there, but the video does go on for a little while longer, but they just started going round and round in circles, so I didn't think it was really worth getting into. But before I sign off, let me check out some of these comments. To Yada's point, let's say a man does manipulate a woman into having a baby. Okay, that would be baby number 1. But you have women out here who have 3 kids, 3 baby daddies or 5 kids, 5 baby daddies. So you're telling me that you've been manipulated by 3 different men and 5 different men. That says a lot about you as a woman because it shows that she is continuously making bad decisions when it comes to men. It's not acceptable to keep pushing baby mama culture. So Yada says a woman's value is not diminished if she has children out of wedlock. Yet if a man can't provide 100% of a woman's expenses, he is less of a man. I have been married 13 years, and Anton is speaking from a place of a husband that had married parents. His perspective is the perspective blacks as a collective should listen to. We have too many single-parent households. If it were not seen to be okay to leave, it would encourage men and women to be more selective when choosing who to lay down with and avoid many problems our community creates. Honestly, the comments section was pretty split, but what do you guys think? I look forward to chopping it up down below.